Hello, it's been a while since I've actually been allowed to have this car for any period of time. It's very difficult to get it out of my wife's hands, which, despite her protestations about the colour, I still think she absolutely loves, and particularly with the price of gas being what it is, not having to fork out every week for a tank full of gas is a godsend. But that is not the object of this video today. Seeing as I've got the car for a quick airport run, I thought I'd do an update. We're closing in on 2 years of ownership. We're just a couple of months shy of 2 years, and on this trip the odometer will click over to 20,000 miles, and I thought it'd be worthwhile just to give an update on where we stand with this car, and in particular on the battery charging. We've been charging it to 80% on a weekly basis. All the literature says that charging to 100% all the time is not good for the battery and will prolong battery life if you only top up to 80%, which is fine for our usage. And we do all our charging at home, and I still have not used a DC fast charger since the day I picked the car up, which is a good sign. It means that our daily routine means that we can charge the car at home, we can charge it overnight, and I've done another video about how little that has actually cost us. And our electrical utility have actually come out with a new program if you charge within specific hours of the day, where it's even cheaper. I just haven't switched the car to that charging schedule yet, but probably will. Anyway, I got the feeling that we weren't getting as much range as we used to from this car. When we first got it, we charged it to 100%, and we were regularly showing over 300 miles on 100% charge. So the last couple of charges, I've done it to 100% rather than the 80% we've been doing, to see what it was, because extrapolating from 80%, I felt we lost a significant amount of range. And lo and behold, I get in the car this morning, 100% charge, and I'm looking at it now, the range shows 246 miles, which is not only way down on where we were when we first got the car, because it was showing an indicated 300. I will check back in the other videos exactly what it was. But the quoted range for this car was 258 miles. And after 2 years, we're 12 miles below that. And this is with no climate control on, no heating, settings set to driver side only. And I looked at the difference between econo mode and normal mode, and that was 2 miles, so that was not significant. So we're not using any of the systems really, and the range is down. If you put the heat on in the car, the range goes down 10 miles. So what I'm wondering is, what's the cause of this? And is it battery degradation, or is it software management? And I have a feeling it's mostly the latter. The car has been in 2 or 3 times the dealership for minor things, and each time it's been in, they have done a software update. They checked the battery, and this car doesn't have one of the batteries that's likely to self-combust, so they said the battery was fine. But I think they have changed the software to manage the charge in the batteries, which results in lower range. I don't know, but that is my feeling. Looking at the accumulated info screen, since the last time it was reset, we've done 4,600 miles, and it's shown an average consumption of 4.8 miles per kilowatt hour, which is, from what I remember, pretty consistent with what we saw at the outset of the car. And if you do the math, if you take 4.8, multiply it by 64, it's just over 300. I think it's 307. which is consistent with the range we were seeing when we bought the car. But the actual range shown by the car is way less than that. I think at the start of this trip I said it was 247 miles on a full charge. So that means that's just over 80% of the calculated potential range. So rather than having 64 kilowatt hours available, we've got significantly less. So either this is battery degradation or it's software charge management, and I really do think it's the latter, but I don't know for sure. We will see if the range continues to degrade over the coming months. If it is, then it's a battery problem. If it doesn't, that means it was probably software management keeping the available usage to around 80%, which makes sense. But the trouble is, if we're only charging to 80% of 80%, that means we're only getting 64% of available battery capacity, which is reducing the range fairly significantly. I mean, when it's charged to 80%, I'm seeing less than 200 miles range, and the reason I bought this car was because it had quoted 258 miles of range and actual a lot more, and we're seeing a lot less than that now. So we will have to see over the coming months. We changed the tyres after only 17,000 miles. They were showing a lot of wear, and we were unfortunate enough to have driven across a strip of nails from a nail gun in one of the front tyres, and as a result there were 10 nails in a row sticking in the tyre, and we felt it prudent to replace the tyre, so we replaced all 4. And we have moved away from the low rolling resistance tyres that came with the car. I don't remember what tyres we've got. We'll have to have a look at the end when I get back home. So here you go. These are the tyres that we have on here. Michelin Defender, chosen purely on the recommendation of the guy from the tyre shop, who said they weren't bad. And I have noticed they did not put on the security bolt. That's rather dangerous. I'm glad I filmed this. I was hoping that we would get less tyre noise. It's not really noticeably quieter. The car is still quiet, but as you can probably hear, there's still road noise, and the ride is nice and smooth. I would say the ride is a little smoother with these tyres. So anyway, we had to replace the tyres at 17,000, and we also had to take the car in because there was a bushing that failed in the steering column and was making a horrible squeak. That took forever to get the part, but that has been fixed under warranty, and that's pretty much the only thing that's gone wrong, other than a little mishap my darling wife had backing the car out of the garage, and she smacked the driver's side mirror on the frame for the garage door, which shattered the mirror and did a little bit of damage to the mirror casing, which you can't really see. But when she took it to the dealership for a repair estimate, they said, oh no, we can't just replace the glass, we have to replace the whole unit. And I said, that's absolute nonsense. I'd already pulled the glass out. It just snaps out, and there's a couple of little electrical connectors. But they gave us all this nonsense about, no, you have to replace the whole thing. I finally convinced them that I only wanted the mirror. And they said, okay, fine, we'll order it. And then when they phoned us to say it was in, Julie, my wife, took the car in, and I'd said, just tell them to give you the part, because I'm not paying labour to install it, because it snaps on in 5 minutes. And she came back, and they'd charged her $360, I think it was, for the whole assembly, which is exactly what I told them not to do. And a couple of irate calls, I told them to take it back, and I just wanted the mirror, which I had found online for, I think it was 125 bucks just for the glass, which is exorbitant if you ask me, but it was significantly cheaper than if we ordered it through the dealership. So I did that. I ordered it online. It was a genuine Hyundai part. I think I had to pay for shipping. It came out about $140, and I snapped it in myself, and that took all of 5 minutes. Even taking off the whole mirror assembly and replacing that, because I did take it off before I found out how much the thing cost. That took me 10 minutes, and they wanted to charge something ridiculous, like an hour's labor to do it. And that's the only problem we've had with this car. We have used it every day. Well, let me rephrase that. Julie has used the car pretty much every day. We haven't had to do any servicing on it. The brakes still show very little wear. And as I said, the only real wear item was the tires. So it's still a great car. I'm getting a little concerned about the range. And I'm also getting concerned about what is going to happen when 3G finally gets switched off. We've had no communication from Hyundai at all regarding that, and I know a lot of the networks are switching off 3G and going to 4G or 5G. The system in this is a 3G system, so are we going to lose the Blue Link connectivity, which quite frankly we rarely use? We only use it if we're going somewhere to transfer the destination to the nav system, and use it in the summer to cool the car before we get in, but half the time the app doesn't work and the car doesn't cool. So I'm not sure that it's going to be a major concern not having that. So there you go, that's it. Closing on 2 years of ownership of this car, and we're still really happy with the purchase. Now looking at the offerings that are starting to come to market, should we have waited? Yeah, probably, but you can't keep waiting for the perfect car to come along, because even the cars that you see now, like the Ioniq 5 by Hyundai, which we really would like, but it's very difficult to get hold of, and they're not going to give us much money for this car. That's going to be superseded by something else pretty soon. So I guess you just go with what's available at the time, and go for the best offering, which I felt this was at the time. So there you go. That is my nearly 2 years update, and we'll see you soon, hopefully. If you like these videos and you haven't already subscribed, please do so by clicking on the subscribe button, and while you're at it, give us a thumbs up and leave your comments below. So until next time, cheers.